Have you ever heard of a tactic so bold, so against the rules, that it changed the course of battles, but was never officially written down? Today, we're diving into the incredible story of the rainbow shot, a maverick anti-tank technique invented by American soldiers in the heat of World War II. Picture this. It's September 1944. The battle for Europe is raging. American forces are pushing into enemy territory, but they're facing a fearsome beast on the battlefield, the German Panther tank. With its thick, sloped frontal armor, the Panther was a nightmare for Allied anti-tank guns. Standard tactics just weren't cutting it. The American 3-inch anti-tank gun was a powerful weapon, but its shells often bounced right off the Panther's front plate. For the gun crews, facing a Panther felt like a suicide mission. This is where our story's hero comes in, Corporal Thomas Bennett, a gun commander in the 702nd Tank Destroyer Battalion. On one fateful day, Bennett and his crew found themselves staring down a group of advancing Panthers. The situation was desperate. Following the training manual meant certain death. The manual was crystal clear. Never fire the 3-inch gun at an elevation angle higher than 15 degrees. Why? The recoil mechanism was designed for direct fire, and a high angle could put immense stress on it, potentially damaging or even destroying the gun. But Bennett wasn't thinking about the manual. He was thinking about survival. He noticed something crucial. While the Panther's front armor was nearly impenetrable, its top armor, over the turret and engine deck, was incredibly thin. It was a weak spot, but how could he hit it from hundreds of yards away? Bennett had a crazy idea. What if he lobbed the shell, like a quarterback throwing a Hail Mary pass? He ordered his gunner to elevate the barrel to an unheard of 32 degrees, more than double the official limit. His crew must have thought he was insane. The risk of the gun failing was huge. But the alternative, being overrun by Panthers, was far worse. With a thunderous boom, the gun fired. The heavy shell soared high into the air, tracing a graceful, rainbow-like arc before plunging down. It was a perfect shot. The shell pierced the thin top armor of a Panther, and the tank erupted in flames. Bennett didn't stop there. He repeated the maneuver, taking out a second Panther, and then a third. In a matter of minutes, a single gun crew, led by a corporal who dared to break the rules, had stopped a German tank assault cold. What Bennett did was nothing short of revolutionary. It was the birth of the rainbow shot, or as some called it, plunging fire. This wasn't a technique taught at any military academy. It was born from desperation and battlefield genius. Other gun crews from his battalion witnessed this incredible feat. They saw Bennett's crew survive and succeed where others had failed. Word spread like wildfire. Soon, gunners across the battalion were quietly practicing this forbidden art. The impact on the battlefield was immediate and dramatic. German tank commanders, who were used to feeling invincible from the front, were suddenly vulnerable. They would be advancing, confident in their armor, only to have a shell seemingly fall from the sky and destroy their tank. The psychological effect was immense. German crews started becoming hesitant, knowing that a hidden American tank destroyer could be waiting to lob a shell over a hill or a line of trees. The rainbow shot forced them to change their tactics, making them more cautious and less aggressive. Now, you might be wondering, what did the high command think of all this? Well, that's where the story gets even more interesting. U.S. command noticed a sudden, dramatic increase in the effectiveness of their tank destroyers against Panthers. They were destroying more tanks, but the official reports didn't explain how. The gun crews, for their part, kept their secret. They knew what they were doing was against regulations. They were technically risking damage to their equipment, but they were also saving their own lives and winning battles. It was a trade-off they were willing to make. Eventually, the brass caught on, at least partially. They couldn't deny the results, but they also couldn't officially endorse a tactic that violated their own safety manuals. An official bulletin was eventually released. It was a masterpiece of military doublespeak. It reiterated the official recommendation not to fire the gun above 20 degrees, but it included a crucial clause, implicitly acknowledging the reality on the ground. It stated that in extreme circumstances, where the crew's survival was at stake, the final decision was left to the gun commander's discretion. It was a wink and a nod, a way for command to say, "We can't tell you to do this, but we understand why you are." It was a silent approval of the soldier's ingenuity. The story of Corporal Bennett and the rainbow shot is more than just a cool war story. It's a powerful lesson in innovation and the human spirit. It shows how, in the crucible of combat, the rigid rules of a manual can be less important than the quick thinking and courage of a soldier on the ground. Bennett wasn't an engineer or a general. He was a corporal who used his practical experience and a healthy dose of courage to solve a life-or-death problem. He saw the battlefield not just as a set of rules, but as a dynamic environment that required adaptation. This episode highlights a timeless truth about warfare. The most effective tactics are often developed by those on the front lines. These soldiers are the ones who face the enemy directly, who understand the true capabilities and limitations of their weapons, and who have the most to lose. Their informal, bottom-up innovations can be just as crucial, if not more so, than the grand strategies conceived by high command. The rainbow shot remained an unofficial, almost legendary tactic for the rest of the war. It was a testament to the American soldiers' ability to think on their feet, to bend the rules when necessary, and to find a way to win, no matter the odds. Corporal Thomas Bennett's legacy isn't found in any official military doctrine, but in the lives he saved and the fear he struck into the hearts of his enemies. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most brilliant solutions come from daring to look at a problem from a completely different angle. Thanks for watching. If you found this piece of hidden history as fascinating as I do, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more stories from the annals of military history, and share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.